Yeah, so it's a funny thing about the weather. Um, the forecasts so far in June and July have consistently been lower than what has been predicted, and I believe there's a good reason for that. We were forecasted today to be 103, 102, 103, and it's 4 p.m. and we're at 97. Now, my thermometer here in my backyard is fairly accurate, within about a degree of what is reported on the nightly news. So, what I do also is I'll go to the National Weather Service website and I'll check what our local weather station has inputted for the day. So, and usually it's within a degree or two of what I read back here in my backyard. So, and I believe the reason why it's a little cooler is they are not accounting for the enormous amount of snowfall that is still capping our Sierra Nevada mountains. I can look due east and I can see the snow on a clear day like today, and it's still there and there's a lot of it. Now we have a high pressure heat cell that is over the Central Valley, and the wind pushes down through those mountain ranges and into the valley. And it's also capturing a huge amount of cold air as it does that. So I believe that is one of the reasons why we are not getting as hot as what the forecasters have said. Now, Sunday is going to be the telltale day because they have forecasted that it will be 114, and it very well might be. But I believe that if my theory holds true, we'll come in a few degrees lower than that, maybe 110, 111. So we'll see. Still pretty hot, but nowhere a record here in the state of California, Central Valley. Much hotter in the past, but the focus is on global warming, right? And that brings up a interesting thing to discuss here. With the current state of the world, with the threat that we are under with nuclear war, because of the Russian-Ukraine, war. Uh, it could unfold in a variety of ways. However, I believe, just by world experience, I served in the service, so I made that a career, and did a lot of time over in the Asia Pacific, and I was a Cold War sailor with the Soviet Union. I kind of take that experience and sit back and reflect on how a potential nuclear war could develop. I think we are primed for it because the West and NATO is not backing down, and Russia is not backing down. And the breaking point, the tipping scale, is going to be a high number of Russian casualties, because they will see that as they will project it out, they will war game it and probably model it out, and their attrition rate will be unacceptable to the Russian citizen, right? And that would cause a internal uprising in Russia. So they need to, obviously, they don't want that to happen. So I think something that's very likely is Russia, although they know that a nuclear war has no winners, that would be the way that they would choose to go out. It's like, hey, it's a no-win-win situation, so we're going to get the first strike and bring it on, right? If you're going to destroy us, we're going to destroy you. It'll be mutual destruction, and they'll be aware of it, right? But I think what they would try and do in such a scenario is they would go after Washington, D.C., obviously, civilian leadership. We have everything is central. Every agency in the United States is in Washington, D.C. One nuke takes all that out. And then you go after command and control of the U.S. military. So the Pentagon, our nuclear bunkers and whatnot. And that could be easily done through hypersonic nuclear weapon delivery. And that is something Russia has had for, maybe a decade. In the United States, we do not have it to our knowledge. You simply cannot take a nuclear warhead and place it on a hypersonic missile and expect it to work. Now, we have a conventional weapons delivery capability, but we have not outfitted them for nuclear weapons, to our knowledge, right? But the hypersonic missile is such a game changer in nuclear warfare. It's no longer a massive exchange of weapons flying over the North Pole, right? It's whoever can knock out the enemy first to prevent the enemy from launching a full-scale strike, right? Now, in the event that DC were taken out and our command and control taken out, there are other systems that would respond, but it would be in nowhere at the same level as if we had full command and control, right? So a few nuclear weapons would make their way over. And I believe that we are primed for that. And, you know, the globe is supposedly going through a heat wave. What better time of year for that to happen, because everything would ignite, right? So, however, the massive amount loss of life would just be off the charts, and that would throw everybody into chaos, and everything would come to a grinding halt here. Everything would go local. There would be nothing. Our supply chain would be gone. Everything in the stores will be looted within 24 hours, and things would get very violent. And I think that is a very likely scenario that could play out in the coming months. So, we're not playing it smart with Russia, right? We have a bunch of warmongers in charge on both sides. And that needs to change, because if it doesn't, World War III, baby. This is a Cold War sailor out.